All right, guys, with Packers training camp just around the corner, exactly 5 days away, training camp is set to start on Monday, July 22nd. We just got some injury updates, key injury updates on 5 players ahead of training camp. So in today's video, I just want to show you guys those 5 players, what that all means for the Packers training camp, and how it can maybe shake up some of the training camp battles. Firstly, wanted to apologize if I sound slightly different. I am sick this week. I guess it's better I'm sick before training camp than during training camp, but it is what it is. But still wanted to get out here and give you guys this injury update. If you do happen to be a new viewer here and want more Packers content when training camp starts, this is your place to find it all. I'll be posting 2 videos every single day. The Packers have a practice. That'll be a practice highlight video and a practice recap video. So you guys, if you want to stay in the loop with everything Packers throughout training camp, and then of course for when the season starts, this is your go-to spot for it all. Go down and click subscribe. You won't regret it. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. This is going to be a quick video, but quickly just wanted to go over the injury updates we have from the Green Bay Packers that include wide receiver Alex McGough, tight end Tucker Kraft, offensive guard Donovan Jennings, offensive lineman Zach Tom, and safety Kitan Oladapo. So the transaction wire was just released about an hour ago, and it states around the league which players were placed on the PUP, the physically unable to perform list, as well as the NFI, the non-football injury list. And 4 of these players are PUP, 1 is NFI. So firstly, we have Alex McGough, who was placed on the physically unable to perform list. We also have Tucker Kraft on the PUP, Donovan Jennings on the PUP, and Zach Tom on the PUP list. Then finally, Kitan Oladapo placed on the NFI list. Now, some of these I definitely wasn't expecting. Matt LaFleur basically had stated that he doesn't expect Zach Tom's injury to be long-term, and he expects Tucker Kraft to be back at the start of training camp. So it seems like both of these players a little bit behind schedule. Now, they can be removed off of this at any point during training camp, so it's not like, oh, they're definitely out for the long haul. They're out for the majority of training camp. That's not what this means, but what this does mean is we're not going to see any of these players at least to start training camp. On Monday, none of these players will be practicing. I guess Alex McGough was placed on the PUP due to that hamstring injury he suffered. I believe it was in the 3rd open OTA. He suffered a hamstring injury. Didn't really see him making the roster or even the practice squad at wide receiver. Of course, Alex McGough transitioned from quarterback to wide receiver this offseason, probably to slightly heighten his chances at making the practice squad because the Packers have 3 quarterbacks right now that are all clearly above Alex McGough at playing quarterback. Now, Tucker Kraft, I was really expecting him to be back. Of course, we learned he injured his pectoral muscle while bench pressing, the same exact way that Coach Matt LaFleur injured his. And like I said, Matt LaFleur mentioned that, hey, they fully expect Tucker Kraft to be ready for the start of training camp. But this was also a month ago, so the progression probably not exactly where they want it to be right this moment. And this is all precautionary for a lot of these guys as well. You don't want to rush them right back. A couple of these guys, they're fine missing the start of training camp. I'm talking about Tucker Kraft and Zach Tom. I do want to see Zach Tom practice because I want to see where they place him and how this offensive line starts to shape out when their best is out there, including Zach Tom. So we've yet to see that yet. And, he's probably going to remain at right tackle, but we still don't know for certain what the Packers' plan is overall for the best 5 of this offensive lineman. But the other 2 that do concern me that aren't starting to practice at the start of training camp is, of course, Donovan Jennings and Kitan Oladapo. Donovan Jennings, an undrafted free agent. He's my pick to make the roster. I think he bodes the best chance to make the roster as an undrafted free agent for the Green Bay Packers. They also signed him to a 3-year contract. I believe he was just drafted to the UFL today, to the Brahmas, but the Packers still own the rights to him, so if Donovan Jennings gets cut and doesn't make a practice squad, then he can go play in the UFL, but I don't see either of those happening, even though he's not practicing, but he very well could open the year on IR, PUP, and still be rostered if he can't start practicing during training camp. I'm guessing he suffered an injury during OTAs or minicamp. That's undisclosed. We don't exactly know what that is. Then Kitan Oladapo's on the NFI. He had broken his toe during the offseason before, I believe, the draft. I think he broke his toe. And didn't practice during rookie minicamp, didn't practice during OTAs, and didn't practice during mandatory minicamp. And I thought, after that month, or this month that just passed, yeah, he'd definitely be ready for training camp. And he's one of my favorite draft picks. He was my #1 draft crush, my most mocked player to the Green Bay Packers, and I was very excited to see him suit up and start to practice for the Packers. But luckily, the Packers already drafted 2 safeties before Kitan Oladapo with Javon Bullard and Evan Williams. Javon Bullard, they've been moving all around from deep safety to box to nickel. And Evan Williams also been getting a lot of looks as well, especially during mandatory minicamp when Xavier McKinney was excused absent. So both of those rookie safeties are going to continue to get more snaps, and Kitan Oladapo is kind of going to be falling behind at this point, which is upsetting because I think this guy has a ton of potential. But obviously, you got to be out there. You got to be able to practice. Availability is the best ability, and right now, Kitan Oladapo isn't available. So those are the 5 injury updates we have for the Green Bay Packers ahead of training camp, which is now 5 days away. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just wanted to give you a quick injury update. Of course, come back to this channel at the start of next week when everything starts to kick off. It's going to be a blast. I'm so excited for training camp, preseason, and of course this season for the Green Bay Packers. But I appreciate you guys coming by to the video. If you could, please leave a like down below. It supports the channel a ton, and it's absolutely free to do. I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.